Hello, I'm Lady Juniper and welcome. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I want to look at the special program that was on last week. I don't usually cover the special programs, but I think there's a few things that I want to talk about today. Um, usually, usually, um, because I don't do recordings on Friday, I generally miss them, and by the time I have time to do recording, like everybody's talked about them already, and it's just like there's no point looking at them because everything that could be said has already been said. But I want to talk about them today because it affects what I'll be doing with my account, like mostly this one, my Bows Only account. For obvious reasons. So let's get to it. Let's go look at the special program, shall we? So here we have it, our newest bow character, Lenny. Yes, I have hinted at previously that I knew that Lenny was coming up. It's no surprise to me that he's a bow character, and he looks pretty neat. So yeah, we have Lenny here, newest character. He's a pyro unit. He uses a bow, which means we have a new character to pull for, to farm for, and all that. It has been noticed that all the first characters for each regions are a bow character. Um, so I think this is like the first bow character since Tanari, right? I think he was the last 5-star bow unit, and he went on the standard banner. But Lenny, he is going to be exclusively on the event banner, which is good. I'm quite excited by his animations. He looks very cool. We can see some of them in the video. So here's his intro card. His splash art looks pretty cool, I think. Um, This will give us a little preview of him. Look at these animations. It's super cool, the little cat motif. Um, yeah, his animations are so cool. I'm kind of excited to be able to play with him. I'm not wishing for him on my main account. I'm not planning to anyway. So Lenny's main thing is he is a charge attack unit. It doesn't explicitly say here, but if we watch the little animation, yep, there, it spawns this little prop hat. He is a charge attack focused unit. That's pretty clear from this. I'm going to try and avoid too much spoiler stuff, but I'm very aware of how his mechanics work. Look at how cool he is. But yeah, he spawns these little hats. He does his skill, and then they explode, and then the little hat thing dashes around doing like pyro damage, and then I think you end it, and then it spawns a hat and gives you a stack of an ability or something. Only one hat can exist at any given time or something. I think. Yeah, there's the hat. Um, it's neat. He can also find all the talent materials, which means that once I wish for him, I can go farm for him reasonably easy. But we don't know how many new bow characters we're going to be getting in Fontaine. I suspect we'll be getting at least one more. We got, what, 2 in Sumeru with Kole and Varazan. I don't think there were any other ones. Varazan was obviously an Animo buffing bow character, and as I spoke about in my getting ready for Fontaine video, I suspect we will be getting a unit that will buff Hydro units, so you can play a mono Hydro team, or it buffs Farina or Nouvellette, because it's quite likely they're going to be big damage dealing units, just because of the way they're like presented to us. Like, I'm pretty sure Nouvellette's going to be our equivalent of Alhaithime from Fontaine. So I feel like there will be a buff Hydro bow character because all the buff units seem to be bow units. So it's very, very likely we're going to get a Hydro Bow buffer, which would be very good for my child. He could do with a bow with a Hydro buffer in his mono Hydro state. So yeah, we will be wishing for our boy here. He's going to be wished for, and then they also revealed. So look at this. We have Lenny and Yilan on the first banner, which means Yilan's bow is on the first banner, followed by Child on the second banner. This is such an annoying banner duo. 3 5-star bow units, and I can only wish for one of them. Because I don't have Venti. And because I don't have Venti, I can't be greedy, because Venti, I'm pretty sure, is coming 4.1. He was last featured in 3.1 on the event banner then, so it makes sense that he will be reappearing in 4.1 on the banner, which leaves me in a sticky situation, right? Like, Yilan and Lenny on on the banner with 2 5-star bows. I only have one 5-star weapon. It's Yilan's bow. This is such an incredible opportunity. I don't know if I can find a picture of the bow. There's his bow. It doesn't tell you what the bow does, but I know what the bow does. I have seen the leak, so I'm just going to talk about that a little bit now. Lenny's bow buffs depending on how many units of the same type you have in the party. So the more units of the same type you have in the party, the more attack damage you do. I think it's a crit damage bow, I think. So it has really good crit stats, it has really good attack stats, and it gives movement speed for the units that aren't the same in your team. And the buff is significant that if you only have 2 pyro units, it's still good. You don't need 3 pyro units. If you didn't know, Lenny is a mono pyro character, which you can tell from the live stream. I'll just see if I can find a clip of it in all the stuff, because they kind of hint to it with his party loadout. It's whether or not I can find a clip. But do we have the picture of him in actual gameplay? I remember there being it there and going like, oh, they are showing us how he is supposed to be played. So look at his teammates. He's got Bennett and Zhangling and Kazuha on the party. So they're very subtly revealing here that Lenny is meant to be played in a mono pyro team. Without revealing like the full details of his kit, it is quite clear in the live stream footage that he's a mono pyro character, which is a bit disappointing for me. I do have 3 pyro bow users, obviously, because I have Yomiya and Amber already, and when I have Lenny, that will be a third. So technically I could do the 3-person pyro team, but I believe I'm going to have to double check quick. So yeah, just quickly checking Lenny's talents on Project Amber. Lenny does increased damage if the unit has pyro on them, which means he doesn't technically have a you need this amount of pyro units in your party for a buff to have be in effect like Yilan does. He has something that incentivizes you to try and keep a pyro aura on a unit, and like counter melt teams that like Ganyu runs is very difficult to do because none of the pyro units support keeping like a pyro aura up on the team. It's like big like that's why Zhangling is so powerful for like Child, because she can reapply pyro really quickly so he can vape constantly and do his damage, but no other pyro unit really supports Child's gameplay, which is why he only has a singular team to run with. So Lenny would have the same problem. He doesn't have a unit besides Yang Ling that keeps pyro on the field, but technically, he does have other team options. As long as you have Pyro applied to enough people, he should be able to keep doing that monstrous damage he has. And in my case, right, if we have a looky here, we're just going to make a hypothetical team. Let's have Yelan stand in for Lenny. So we have Amber. She would be the second unit. You'd have Farazan for the VV. And then you have Kole, right? You have Kole be the fourth unit because of burning, and burning provides a pyro aura. You can like experiment with this setup, but like a Dendro unit that isn't Traveller would work as the other slot because they reapply Dendro and keep that burning aura on the field, and so you have Pyro, and with the Pyro you can do the extra damage with Lenny. So this is probably what my team would look like with Lenny, with Yoimiya being Lenny, which is pretty good, I think. Obviously, my hope would be to get Venti here because then you have off-field Animo application, and he would be better keeping the burning aura up, and you can switch the Kole to get the Dendro down to make sure it stays up, and then Lenny gets his damage. You have good crowd control and you have good Pyro up time. You could probably do a very similar team with Kazuha and Nahida, I guess. Lenny, I think, is more flexible than it might seem at first, but only with Dendro units. Now, I did watch a Genshin Scientist video yesterday that suggested that because he has increased damage when hitting Pyro, it is to incentivize mono Pyro teams, but it's to replace the damage that you're not getting from vaping. So what that basically means is I think vape is 2 times damage, right, or something. But I think like Lenny's damage increase is like 60% on pyro afflicted units. So whether or not, so you could, I think, technically do him in a normal pyro DPS team, and he will probably do the same amount of damage theoretically because of the multipliers on vape. It's just he has his own multipliers on mono pyro, so you can play him in a mono pyro team. I'm not sure if he would. I'm not 100% sure on the numbers. I'm sure when Jeff does a video on it, he'll probably cover whether or not he can be used in a normal vape team. But I imagine he can. I imagine he can, and the damage is probably quite similar. But obviously, if you have his signature weapon, if you have his bow and want to play him with his bow, then it makes sense to more likely play him in a mono pyro team. Like the bow incentivizes towards mono teams. Like Linny's kit supports him, gives him the ability to play mono pyro. But I still think he probably could do just as much damage in a in a more variable team, which means you could play with Lynette if you wanted to. Though Lynette's buff apparently is not so significant that it matters whether or not you put her in a mono team or not. It's like nice to have kind of stuff. So this bow's good. It's best on a mono team, which, thinking on it, we have 3 pyro bows, we have 2 cryo bows, we have 2 hydro bows, we have 2 dendro bows, we have, what else we got? We got 2 animo bows, right? And 2 electro bows. I don't have a 5-star electro yet. So technically, there is use on my account for this bow to exist. If we get another cryo unit that works, we're very likely going to get a hydro bow unit, which means, hypothetically, this bow would be very good on child in the future, assuming a hydro support bow unit manifests itself. It could happen. Let me have my dreams and hopes, but it could happen. That said, Yeeland's bow is incredible. It's such a great bow. Um, just super good. And it being on the same banner as Lenny's bow means I would be an idiot to not try and roll for it, right? I would be an absolute fool not to try and get one of these two bows. Like, Lenny's bow will still give really good stats regardless of what team I play him with or who I put it on, and having another copy of Yeeland's bow would be insane. Unfortunately, as you can see with my 166 wishes, it's very likely I can afford to wish on Lenny's banner and the weapon banner as long as I win the 50-50. I have enough, pretty sure, here to guarantee me one copy of Lenny. Now, considering we most likely going to be getting Venti in 4.1, is this enough wishes to get Lenny, his weapon, and Venti? That is yet to be seen. That is a lot of wishes. I mean, 4.0 is going to give us at least 60 pulls, and I do have a lot of content left on this account to go for, so I am optimistic. I am optimistic I can get him and the weapon and Venti when he comes along. I'm going to be farming for some primos to top this up. I would very much like, we've got 8 days left, to try and get this to 180 before his banner drops. So it's possible. 180 I think is a good solid amount. If we win the 50-50, we then can win on the weapon banner. I think I am going to being Eptonized path towards Yeeland's bow. I think it's just the better bow to pull out of the two, just because of the mechanics on Lenny's bow. But I feel like Lenny's bow would be good to pull when we have a mono team. I mean, eventually when I get all the 5-star units, we can try and get all the corresponding bows. I would like to get an elegy for the end, but there are rumours that elegy to the end is not going to be the weapon on the weapon banner when Venti reruns, which would be interesting. There are rumours that Tanari's bow might be rerunning then. I don't know if that's a good pickup. It's quite likely he's going to be running alongside Nouvelette, I think. Or if he's not running alongside Nouvelette, he's going to be running alongside Rustley, or however you say his name. I do want to pull Nouvelette on my main account. I did try rolling for Kokomi on my main account. I lost the 50-50 because, I can't win a single 50-50. I have an 80% lose rate on my accounts, which is just ridiculously bad luck. I think I'm going to use that guarantee to get Zhongli because we do have this lovely lady here. She's a Geo character. Which means there's potential for them to do something interesting with Geo. She could be another Ito or another Noelle because she uses a Claymore, if you didn't spot that in the trailer. And I do need more Geo units for Ito anyway, and making Zhongli my third Geo unit on his team makes sense. So I think I'm going to use my guarantee to get Zhongli, and then I'm going to save all of Fontaine for Nouvelette, and I might have to top up, I don't know. We'll see how many wishes I can get until then. But then that leaves me on another 50-50. I'll probably lose because my luck is terrible. Ugh. I wished on Kokomi's banner to get myself a C6 Farazan on my main account. That's the main reason I wished for Kokomi. I'd love a copy of Kokomi. I figured with the update to Fontaine, having a solid hydro healer would be really good with the obvious HP mechanics we have going on with the new artifact set. But I lost my 50-50. But I did get my C6 Farazan, so my Wanderer and my Zhao would be very happy and do much increased damage. So it worked out sort of in the end. What else did I want to talk about? So we will be getting a free Lynette, which is good news for my free-to-play account. I don't have Circros on my account. I do have Kazra, obviously. Forever and ever will love Kazra, but having another Animo unit for the second side as an option is really good. So that'll be really good for my free-to-play account. And so for this event, which I imagine is going to be very similar to the intro event we did for Sumeru, you get a free Bennett for collecting it, and I don't yet have a Bennett on my free to play account. I don't have him yet. I don't have Xingqiu either. Having a Bennett will be really good because it will be big buff for my Yangling. More team options. Really good, really solid. I'm excited to have my first Bennett on my free to play. Anything else we can mention and talk about? We have new weapons. So there's some new free to play weapons. Is this the free to play one? Is it the one with the craftables? I think they are. So we have the new artifacts, best new set on official, which I'll probably be farming for official. I have her on Millilith currently, but maybe it would be better for team damage because that's something I'm struggling for to have on this. This is apparently Lenny's set. Makes sense, so farming both together is pretty good. And then we have the free-to-play weapon. Song of Stillness is meant to be an okay bow. Hopefully you can get these without doing any world quests, so I can get them on my free-to-play, because not that I'll be able to get them anyway, because I don't really have any billets in my free-to-play. I think I have one. I have like one bow billet. But I think for the most part, they're okay if you don't have good weapons. And apparently this catalyst is really, really good. So I'll probably be crafting these in my free-to-play. Definitely going to be crafting the bow. The new weapon banner for the Battle Pass bow. Do they have them on here? I think it was on the earlier one. I'm sure they show the Battle Pass weapons. This is the fishing weapon. I think it's like an ER sword. It looks hilarious. I know, I think it was in the... I can't find the Battle Pass weapons, but there's no Battle Pass weapons. It means a new 4-star bow that I can wish for. Well, I get on the Battle Pass for my bows account. I haven't been buying the Battle Pass. Like, I got my Battle Pass bow to Refinement 5, and then I just was like, nah. So getting a Refinement 5 version of the new bow, I probably will get over the next year if I feel like it. I don't really need the Battle Pass resources for my bows only account. If I get it, it's solely for the bow. The goodies are useful, and it saves a lot of time on farming. But I don't need the resources. I've got so many. Look at this. I don't think I need books. I do need money. I've spent a lot upgrading my talents. Like, look at this. Second crown on Ganyu. Wow. Probably, I don't know if I'll crown this. I probably will crown this. Not crowning this. Probably will crown this. 2 crowns on Farazan. It's so tempting to me to triple crown Farazan. I don't even use her as much as I used to, except for co-op. But I love her. I wish I had more constellations on her. But I got her C2 now. Maybe one day I'll get her down to C6. It's a very exciting time, Fontaine. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot to look forward to. I'm not 100% sure who I'm wishing for on my main account. I'll probably record the Nouvelette wishes because I definitely want to pull him, and then I might pull the Hydro Archon. It depends what he does. I don't know if I really want to pull any of the other 5 stars from like. I don't have Ayato. I could get him. Obviously, I want Kokomi at some point. I didn't want Eula. I don't want Hutao. I want Albedo, but knowing my luck, he'll be on Inconvenient Banner. I do want Child, but is Zhongli or Child? I need to get Zhongli. He's put me in a difficult situation. One day I'll have you. I would like Venti, but I won't have enough wishes for Venti and Norvalet, so I'm gonna have to skip Venti. He's not a must-have character these days. Not with like Kazuha, who is the unit I just use if I want an Animo. Because like Dendro gives you such a huge variance on what teams you can run. You can run a team on Spiral Abyss that doesn't require Animo whatsoever. And usually if it does perform well with Animo, you want Kazuha. But I feel like Venti works just as good. I would love it to get Tanari. Like if Tanari ran again instead of Venti, because like the leaks about his bow being on banner make people like, are they rerunning Tanari? They wouldn't rerun a standard banner character, would they? I mean, I feel like they would if they thought people might wish for it. It just means he's available on the standard banner too. But it does feel like a waste of a wish slot. But if they did rerun him on the event banner, I would wish for him, of course, because pulling him is very difficult. We'll see. We'll see. It should be Venti 4.1, and we have a lot of wishes to farm on this account before then. But as far as I'm concerned, 166 wishes is definitely going to be 180 wishes before 4.0 launch day, and then you have a bunch of events where we'll get more wishes. I think I have plenty in the bag. Whether or not I have enough wishes for the bows is in question. Like if he takes me to hard pity, if I lose the 50-50 and go to hard pity, then obviously I will not have enough of the weapon banner. But if I win my 50-50, I can then wish on the weapon banner, which has a lower hard pity rate. It's 80 instead of 90. So you usually get it in 60 pulls, roughly, as long as it doesn't go hard pity. Um, I feel very confident we can do, and then I can use 4.0 to get enough wishes for when Venti reruns in 4.1. I believe Venti 4.1. Venti 4.1. Yeah, I think that covers everything that affects my account. I'm super excited. I'm super excited to see the continuation of Fontaine's story. To see the continuation of Genshin's story. I'm super hyped for that. There's a whole load of lore stuff in the video in the live stream that I could go over, but I'm sure you guys saw all that and everybody's talked it to death already. I don't know if you guys are interested in that sort of thing. Just let me know. We can have a look at it. Otherwise, I imagine I might be doing some like farming stuff on this account, which I'll bring you guys along for. I am very busy this month, the month of August. I'm so busy, in fact, that, like I'm doing something the weekend of Fontaine's launch, and I'm like, oh dear, I don't know if I'm going to have enough time to play Fontaine on launch day, and oh, everybody's going to spoil it on Twitter. I'm going to have to block Twitter spoilers. I don't usually mute stuff on it, but I feel like I'm really going to have to this time because I don't know if I'm going to have enough time to play the new chapter and get it all done day one, which I try to do because people spoil stuff. They don't tag it properly, and like I had like Ting Young stuff spoiled for me on Honkai, and I was so furious because they didn't tag it. They make it so obvious. Like, guys, why can't you wait 24 hours, very least, before posting story spoilers on Twitter? Like, people can do this for movies. Why can't you do it for like video games, which you know millions of people play? I don't think it's too much to ask to wait 24 to 48 hours and not post story spoilers. Like I've literally started like muting people who have been posting leaks of story spoilers because I have no interest in seeing that on my timeline. If you are spoiling the story via leaks, I don't want to hear from you ever, and now you are muted. I don't care how popular your like thing is, you are getting muted. I don't want to see you. I don't want to see them. I don't care. I don't care like fun little theories like the stuff of Nouvellette being leaked because that doesn't really affect the story of Fontaine and what it's about. Like, whether or not he's like a Bishop or a dragon or an Oceanid, like whether or not he's one of these creatures does not affect the story. Like, you can't hypothesize the story direction off that information because of the way like any of those beings working within this world. Like, you can have some fun fan theories built off like, well, what if he is the dragon, or what if he is an oceanoid? But it doesn't tell you what's going to happen in the chapter of Fontaine at all. That's an okay story spoiler, but telling like the entire plot of Fontaine is not a very fun story spoiler, and I don't want to see that. So I just mute them. And I don't want to have to mute people for spoiling the story on launch day either. But like, nobody's gonna hear my complaining on this. Sorry, that's a tangent and a half. That's a tangent and a half. I don't mind equipment and character leaks and all that, but story spoilers we do not like. Telling you the actual plot of the game, we do not appreciate. Fun little dialogue things that do not affect the story. Fun little character hints that don't really affect the story. Fun. Entire plot synopsis, not fun. Though, on that line, I'll leave you with one little nugget before I go. One little lore nugget or novelette. If he is a dragon, have you ever thought, and this is probably the wrong account to demonstrate this, but have you ever thought that we fight a dragon in Mondstadt? We fight a dragon in Leeway. I haven't got them unlocked yet, but we fight a dragon in Inuzuma. The bishops in Enkonomiya, they count as dragons. I know they're not a world boss, but they count as fighting dragons. And of course, again, I don't have it unlocked, Apep in Sumeru. In each region, we fight a dragon of the corresponding type. We fight Stormterror, who's an animo dragon. We fight Azkra, who is a geo dragon. We fight the two bishops, one of which is an electro dragon. And we fight Apep, who is the dendro dragon. Well, we fight like a manifestation of Apep or whatever. But it counts, it counts. We are fighting a part of a dragon. So, if Nouvellette is a dragon, and we go with the running theme of each region having a dragon that we fight. I know Inazuma is pretty much the outlier here for world bosses, but all the other are world bosses. Then we are fighting a dragon in Fontaine. It might just be a little like open world boss thing like the Inazuma one is, but you have to do a really big long world quest to unlock that. Or it could be a the Archon story quest thing where we fight a Hydro Dragon. Like, that's a cool thing to think about in relation to Nouvellette potentially being a dragon. And that I'm very excited to see what is the truth. Where does that go? What form of water dragon will we be fighting in Fontaine? So it's a fun thought to end on. Thanks for joining me today. Do remember to like this video if you've made it this far. It really helps out my account. And do subscribe if you're not. I'm almost to 100 subscribers. I'm very excited. I very much appreciate each and every one of you who do subscribe. I enjoy seeing your comments too, so make sure to leave one down below. Do you think we might be fighting a manifestation of the water dragon that may or may not be Nouvellette in Fontaine? Let me know, because that way I know you've watched the entire video. And I'll see you soon-ish, because, you know, this is August, I'm busy. I'll see you soonish in the next video. Oh gosh, Yelan, you're very pale in the moonlight. Daylight? It's very dark. sunset. I will see you soon in the next video. Goodbye.